It actually creates a beautiful architecture which performs for a public service. More than that, materials that were applied were local and they are performing in an energetically efficient way.
Here in the South African bush, on the border between Botswana and Zimbabwe, the kingdom of Mapungubwe has existed for roughly 1,000 years. Peter Rich architects from Johannesburg have built a memorial to this almost forgotten culture in the form of an unusual visitor center.
We tried not to hurt the site because we wanted to have deference to nature, and we really turned to nature for inspiration. And a plant or a tree, if you talk to biologists, grows a branch or a leaf for reasons of economy, not for reasons of anything else, certainly not aesthetics. So we were wanting to design a building where it had that level of integrity about it. There was just, you were working with nature's forces, you were working with the textures of nature, and you were transferring those forces to the ground. And then you were working with light, which is another component of nature. It's got quite a number of tricks around scale, because you can't find a door height or any of the normal things that you look for to give scale to a building. So it looks actually much bigger than it is, but it's actually quite intimate. It's not dealing with form or style or fashion. It's dealing with a building that's almost invisible. It's like a constructed landscape.
Ultimately, the building became part of the landscape around it, further reflecting its function. It leads the visitor over a covered footbridge out of this bright, open landscape into the twilight of a lost world.
It needed to be a place where you entered the sacred, so it needed to be somewhere where you came out of the harsh light and experienced in the half light something sacred. It feels at once ancient, as though it's always been there. And a lot of that has to do with the handcrafted nature of the materials and the irregularities that are in them. So it's not engineered to be slick in any way, it's engineered to be natural. And you know, it evokes the senses of touch and smell and almost taste, because it's the earth.
Earthy is the perfect description. Just as the rooms are largely made by hand, so too were the exhibits displayed inside them created manually hundreds of years ago. Archaeological finds from the region are on display here. Artifacts named a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage in 2003. The strong reference to the traditional location also played a major role in the realization of the building complex. It was created by a local workforce out of local materials. A logistical and organizational achievement in an incredibly isolated area. The old vault technology actually originated in Africa, but had long been forgotten. For this structure, it was reassessed and newly interpreted using locally available building materials.
Well, what we did here, we took the soil from the site. We have only 5% cement. They're hand-pressed. So you haven't got the transport of something to site. You've got almost an 80% less carbon footprint than a conventional building.
Unconventional also describes the training and employment of the unemployed by means of the Poverty Relief Programme, through which this building has attained a second function.
We got unemployed women to make hand-pressed tiles, trained in a short time frame of 1 to 2 weeks, and then we got unemployed labour to actually learn how to build the vaults, doing little mini ones which we made them stand on, and they all giggled and laughed, and then tackling the big one. So there was a skills transfer, which was wonderful to behold.
The visitor centre seems a lot larger from the outside than it actually is. It appears as a landscape within a landscape. And after all, it doesn't want to be anything else.
It says if you look at nature and you're prepared to look and listen and be patient, you can get all the clues, and you can reinterpret those and translate them into something that's wonderful.